Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kara Zor-El Podcast, episode 34, presented by the supergirlhomepage.net. So if you probably know something different about the podcast to some guys, you can actually see me instead of just hearing my voice. I want to try something new. If you remember in previous episodes of the Kara Zor-El Podcast, I've been mentioning that I want to do more videos. I want to get out there and do more video reviews, that sort of thing. So I figured what better way to try video and to try it for you guys to see how you guys like it than with doing a video podcast. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where's Andrew? Why is Andrew here? Why is he behind me or something like that? Good question. Andrew is with me. Hi, Andrew. Can you hear me?
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
I'm doing very well, man. See, this is the nice thing about me doing video and doing audio is that I actually waved to the microphone when I said, hey, Andrew. I have to remember I'm on video sometimes because I'm not used to doing that. And that's things I do when I'm on audio. I'm just strange that way.
Right.
But yeah, so this is the Kara Zor-El Podcast, guys. And so you have to tell me what you guys think of this. If you guys like the new video format. If you don't, either way, I'm still going to do the reviews of Supergirl books from the past. I still want to do those. Those are still going to be coming out. But I want to try the Kara Zor-El Podcast and see how that goes with video. And like I said, see what you guys think. If you guys like it, if you guys don't like it. If you want me to change my shirt, I don't know. But just let me know what you guys think of it, and I will go from there. If you guys want me to change anything, I will, what have you. So, but for this episode today, guys, it's going to be a little bit shorter, I think, than most episodes, mainly because we don't have much news stuff to talk about because we literally talked a whole crap load last episode. Yeah, like a lot. So there's not too much to talk about this episode, but we do have lots of reviews. It's basically a review type episode where we have 3 books we're covering. We are covering Red Lanterns number 30, Supergirl number 31, and Red Lanterns number 31 2, which just came out today. So this way we'll be all caught up, I think, with the whole Red Daughter of Krypton saga. We'll be all caught up, and till next month. So that'd be good. A good thing, I suppose. But yeah, so Andrew, what's new, buddy? What's going on? How are things going?
Things are going well, man. Just working and excited to relaunch some of my shows that have been gone for so long. I just edited together a new episode of SFP, which is over 3.5 hours. So it's going to be it's going to be a long show.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a good one. But
cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited to relaunch that show. I'm excited to relaunch my Wonder Woman show and hopefully get my Black Canary show up off the ground. But therefore, I would have to go out and buy an actual trade because I don't have any.
Yeah, you need to have the material to be able to do a podcast.
Yeah, you really kind of do.
Just it helps. Otherwise, you just be sitting there making up stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to be doing that. So.
Well, I mean, you do that sometimes, just not all the time, right?
I don't do that any of the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, you come up with some stuff out of the air, like, so it'd be nice to come up with some stuff.
Like what? What do I ever come up with off the top of my head?
I things I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I do remember you coming up with just stuff you just pull out of the air.
Sure.
So,
okay.
See, right now you can't see this. I'm making a very funny face at you.
And our listeners are probably thinking, what the crap face is he making?
A very weird face. And you'll probably see it when you watch the show afterwards.
Probably.
Yeah.
Although, I'm not sure I want to see your ugly face making faces at me.
Oh, dude. Harsh. Speaking from a guy who's afraid to try video because he's probably sitting at home and his wife beat her in some sort of boxer shorts or something.
No.
Right.
No, not at all. It's actually PJ pants and my tank top. Thank you very much.
Either way, I didn't need a visual. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what would you rather have me do? Podcast with no pants on?
God, no! Shut up.
See, all our lady listeners are turned on right now.
Can we please change the subject about you not having pants? Please. I do not want to scare away our not just listeners right now, our viewers, I guess you can call them, right? So yeah. You know what I have to do? I think what I'll do is I'll end up splashing a picture of you somewhere around here on the camera when I go edit this video afterwards so people can see what you look like. And then when we talk about you with no pants on, I'll just put this really stupid looking picture of you. Who knows? But yeah.
Only you would
do that, editing.
Sir.
Of course, me.
Only you would do that.
All right.
Because
like I said, there's not too much to talk about. In Supergirl news, I think there's just one thing I really want to mention that sort of came out, and I just lost where the hell it was. Well, it basically was a solicit for Supergirl number 30. It was the one in August, the Futures End. Yeah, Futures End number 1, which is coming out in September, not August, September. Andrew, you hadn't seen the cover for it. I just sent you the cover. The cover was just released, I think, about a week ago, maybe a little less than a week ago. And obviously, you can see on the cover that Kara is now, she kind of gets along with her father, Cyborg Superman, and then it basically becomes Cyborg Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think of it, anyways?
I think it's stupid. I really, really do. But as we know, solicits with DC Comics aren't always the cover we're going to get. So I'm hoping this is not the cover that we're going to get. Unfortunately, I believe that we're going to get some form of Cyborg Supergirl. Whether it be a clone of our current Kara or whether it be an actual cybernetic Supergirl that we get, who knows at this point? But I just think it's a really stupid idea as far as I'm concerned. So
I 100% agree with you on that one. I mean, first off, it's going to be a 3D cover, right? So there's actually 2 covers. I sent you a link, but there was both covers in there. There's actually 2 kind of covers. There's one where you see Kara as normal and she's kind of flying around, and then the alternate cover. Well, the alternate cover, the 3D cover, I guess, when you kind of move it on an angle or something like that, you'll see her kind of being Cyborg Supergirl, and that's, I think, the picture that you saw. So, you know, I'm kind of split because on one hand, I'm glad she's getting along with her father, and I think it's important for her to get along with family. But on the other hand, I don't want her to be a cyborg.
Right. No, I totally agree with you, dude.
You know, so I don't know. It's yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't either. But then again, we may not even get that as a cover. I mean, look what they did back just a little over a year ago and changed out covers with Power Girl. You know.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't, because it is going to be a 3D cover, and they, like I said, they brought up both kind of sides of what the cover is going to look like. So I'd be surprised if they didn't go with this cover. But who knows? I mean, DC Comics does strange things all the time. They do stupid things all the time. So,
by the way, are you done with this whole 3D cover trend?
I didn't even care to begin with, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think when the 3D cover, was it the 3D kind of holographic covers came out there?
Yeah.
Last October, in October, I think it came out.
Yeah, and their shortage of the 3D covers as it is.
I really could care less, to be honest with you. I mean, I just read the story and I put it in my bin, and that's about it, right?
I don't think anybody really cares. I really don't.
I'm sure some people do, but I was just not one of them. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I just never really got all excited about it. Agreed. And with this cover, I'm not all that excited about it either, but I really don't understand how this whole Futures End thing works. I mean, I don't think it's just basically what the plan is going forward in the next 5 years from where it is right now, the storylines and what have you. So I don't know.
Now, is this a universe-wide event? This Futures End?
Yes, as far as I know it is. So basically, in September, you'll be getting all the covers going to be Futures End. Everything's going to be Futures End in September.
Beautiful.
So I don't know if it's going to be going forward for like a long time, for a while, staying future, like that kind of idea, or if it's still going to be the regular books and Futures End. I don't know. I have no idea what the plan is. I guess I'll have to wait till September to find out. So
I know I've said this before, but I think this whole Futures End storyline is just a stupid idea by DC Comics. I really do. But I mean, this maybe is a way to soft reboot our Supergirl. Who knows? But
if their idea of soft rebooting Supergirl is by turning to a cyborg, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah, no, I really don't want it. I want non-cyborg Supergirl. Thank you very much.
True that.
The one that's not a robot or half robot. So.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, that's basically one thing of Supergirl news I think we had. We basically talked about everything else in the last episode, number 33. So if you guys haven't listened to that one yet, definitely go check it out. It's on the supergirlhomepage.net website, as well as iTunes. So definitely download it and listen to it. It's pretty damn entertaining.
And don't forget to leave us a review in iTunes. We would appreciate
Yes,
that.
most definitely. And so the only other thing I think to talk about, if you want to talk about really briefly, is the new X-Men movie that came out this past weekend.
Yes.
We also talked about in the last podcast episode. You were going to see it. I was going to see it, and I actually did end up going to see it as well too. So yeah, I guess we can just talk about it briefly. I mean, the whole spoiler thing, guys. If you haven't seen it, then just skip ahead about another couple minutes or something. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I really was, and I have to. It's probably the best X-Men movie to come out so far, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I absolutely loved X-Men Days of Future Past. I thought it was very, very well done. There was a return of Bryan Singer to the franchise, which he really did a great job retconning a lot of the mistakes that X-Men 3 had made. Even though X-Men 3 is still within continuity, I think he did a really great job. So I'm anxious. Did you stay until after the credits?
I stayed for a while because I had a feeling Marvel was going to do something because they usually do, but I stayed away for a while and they had nothing. I was surprised. It's like
You should have stayed until the absolute end of the credits.
I guess I would have had to stay till the very, very end.
You did.
I was like, people even like wondering what the heck's going on. We like stayed. Nothing was coming on. I was like, all right, I guess I have nothing. So we left. And
you missed the best end credit.
From one end,
made me geek out so much. It's ridiculous because I'm a huge X-Men fan.
Right.
I've been a big X-Men fan even before the movies even came out. So, and do you want me to spoil it for you or no?
Well, I mean, you go ahead. But I mean, from what I understand, I think Apocalypse is going to be the next X-Men movie. X-Men Apocalypse is it's going to be.
Basically, what the end credit scene is, it pans to, you see sand somewhere out in a desert, and you see the pyramid. Mm-hmm. And you see Apocalypse raising his two hands. You see the gray-skinned look. So he's very much on Saab Noor. He's not the mechanized Apocalypse yet. Okay. And you see the four horsemen on the hillside. Dude, my mouth literally dropped because I had no idea Apocalypse was going to be next. Okay. So I was completely surprised and taken aback and really, really excited by it. I have not been as excited for an end credit scene in a extremely long time. Probably since, I don't know, maybe even Avengers.
Okay.
That's how excited I was about it. So
that's cool. I mean, I knew it was going to be Apocalypse going in. I also knew that I think Gambit is going to have his own solo film as well as going to be in the next X-Men Apocalypse movie.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I think it's Channing Tatum. I think is supposed to play Gambit. Remember serving correctly?
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, I think he's a good actor, so I'm fine with it.
He can be. I think he's more known for his romantic drama type roles, not your superhero movie. So I don't know. I'm willing to give him a shot, but
yeah.
What really worries me about Gambit is he's supposed to have that Cajun style accent, and I don't think Channing Tatum can pull that off.
Well, from what I understand, Channing Tatum he's Southern, so he might have some sort of accent.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know the guy personally, so I can't say.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we lost touch a long time ago. Yeah. He became a big movie star, so it's like whatever. But
do you have his number still?
I probably have on my phone somewhere. Yeah. I give him a shout.
Nice.
I give him a shout. But back to X-Men, the one thing I was kind of surprised about, and I didn't know they were going to go down this direction, was how much of a part Mystique was going to play in this film. I mean, she was a very integral part in this film.
Yeah.
Which was kind of surprising. I didn't think she was going to be, but I'm glad she was because I like Mystique as a character.
Dude, it's Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, come on, seriously.
Freaking right. She's gorgeous. She's a really great actress. I mean,
if
ever there was going to be a Supergirl movie, again, Girl of Steel, I think, to me, Jennifer Lawrence should be Kara Zor-El. She has a look. She's got the attitude. She can carry a film. She's a great actress. I think she'd be perfect, at least in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've said that for as long as I can remember, even before my affiliation with the Girl of Steel film. I've been saying that for a long time. So I hope one day she will play Supergirl down the road somewhere. But Who knows? Maybe a Justice League movie, if not Girl Steel. Who knows? But we'll see.
Well, I was talking to my good buddy and my co-host for SFP, Stephen Vaughn, and
Nice plug. Nice shameless plug.
we had mentioned about Supergirl being in a eventual Justice League film,
Mhm.
and it's very possible that she'll be in a Justice League film before she'll have her own solo film, because Supergirl unfortunately is an unproven character. I
Right.
mean, as we can see, her treatment in DC Comics isn't always the best. I mean, yet we haven't even gotten a Wonder Woman solo film, and she's
Right.
going to be in the next Superman Batman movie.
Mhm.
So, I guess how well Wonder Woman performs will depend on our female superhero movies getting their solo films moving forward. So we have to hope that Wonder Woman comes off very, very well, and Gal Gadot does an amazing job, and I'm hoping she does.
You could be right. I mean, Helen Slater. There was. Don't forget, there was a Supergirl movie back in the day, right, with
There
Helen
was,
Slater.
yeah,
So
back
it's
in
like it
back
hasn't
in the
been
80s,
back in the 80s. So it's not like it hasn't been done.
right?
And I think if done right, it could be a fantastic movie. I think it can do really well. You know, just maybe as good as Man of Steel if done properly.
Hmm.
You know, but that's the problem. You need a story and director and all that good stuff and actors to really pull it off. So who knows? Hopefully, I mean, I know, like I said, with the Girl Steel that I'm part of, actually I'm going to Phoenix in about 9 days for the premiere screening at the Phoenix Comic Con for the Girl Steel. So hopefully with that we get some traction out of it. And we get some people talking about it and get some really good positivity out of it. And that's what we're hoping to come out of it. So, and who knows, maybe in the future, near future, maybe it will be a full length movie, TV show coming out of it. We'll see. But I mean, that's kind of the long term plan. But you know, it's great one way or another to see fans coming out with not just movies but artwork and comic books. I mean, our good friend Sue Macedo, who's a writer on the Supergirl homepage.net, has come out with a fantastic, his own fantastic version of Supergirl in a comic book. So, you know, and then countless other people. I mean, especially on the Facebook page, on the Supergirl homepage Facebook page. You know, just today I posted something. There was a really good piece of artwork that was done. It was kind of a mashup between Supergirl and I can't remember her character's name from Frozen, Anya from Frozen, and there's a really good mashup of that. And I thought it was really cool because I mean, especially because I love Frozen, I love Supergirl, so there's a really good collaboration of the two. So I mean, it's great to see that. You know, even if there is no Supergirl movie out there right now, and even maybe the comic book's not the best, you know, people still have a lot of love for her. People still are out there putting their time and energy and money and whatever into producing these things and showing their passion for the character, and that is really really cool. I think.
Indeed. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Um, yeah, and one thing I just want to mention about the X-Men movie too, and you mentioned Apocalypse. I think if I remember correctly, the next X-Men movie, I think, and the Batman Superman movie are both approximately coming out around the same time,
Yes.
or maybe a
Yes, they
year
are.
apart or something like that.
Nope,
Now
they're
there's
coming out the same year, 2016.
okay, and there was rumor that I think Superman and Batman might possibly have Darkseid as a villain, perhaps in the film, maybe. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of the new Justice League movie. I'm sorry, not
Oh,
not
Justice
Superman, Batman,
League. Yeah.
Justice League movie, which I think is coming out in 2018, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And X-Men, I think, is scheduled for what 2017.
2016. It's the same year
Same
that
year as
Batman
Superman?
Superman comes out.
Okay, so depending how far apart. I think the new Justice League movie was going to be, and then X-Men movie, because like I said, Justice League is probably going to be using Darkseid. And then you have the X-Men who are going to use Apocalypse, and we both know that both characters are very similar in look and attitude and that sort of thing, right? So,
Well, I don't think we're going to see the mechanized version of Apocalypse in this movie. We very well might.
okay.
I don't know. We may just see Saab, which is Apocalypse's mutant name before he got all mechanized and stuff. So
Okay. So I don't know too much about Darkseid, about Apocalypse, so I can't say about any of that sort of stuff, but go ahead.
if people want to check out a really great X-Men show, check out X-Men Evolution. It's a little bit different than what your normal X-Men movie or X-Men the original series was, but it has Apocalypse in it, and it's a great rendition of Apocalypse. So check that out. Or if you still have a PS2, play Age of Apocalypse for the PlayStation 2, because it's a really great game. And that's where I got most of my Apocalypse knowledge, actually, was from that game. So.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, isn't it kind of funny? We get a lot of our knowledge from games and from cartoons. I mean,
Yes.
I still tell people how a lot of my Green Lantern information comes from the Green Lantern animated series.
Well, in
This day is still the truth.
and my Spider-Man knowledge, a lot of it comes from the original Spider-Man cartoon from back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I got interested in the character in the first place, was through that cartoon. Yep. So.
No, it's funny. Even like with the Ultimate Spider-Man, same idea. A lot of my knowledge, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, the only thing I know is from that one episode in Ultimate Spider-Man that they're in. So it's just funny, you know, how we kind of take a lot of knowledge from that sort of stuff.
I think a lot of fans are that way, though. I mean,
I think so too. Especially if you've been growing up in the 80s and 90s, right? You had a lot of these cartoons, and the original Spider-Man you just mentioned, and that sort of thing, right? So, you know, growing up, I think, you know, before reading comic books, I think that's the first thing that we did was watch these cartoons and watch these TV shows, right? So,
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's pretty much all I had to talk about. Like I said, there wasn't much really to say. Anything you want to bring up?
Nope.
You mentioned about your podcast you're doing. So you're going to be doing what? SFP, Superman Family Podcast?
Superman Family Podcast, yep. I'm going to be doing Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, okay.
And with SFP, I'm most likely going to be launching a weekly show focused on the Smallville Season 11 comic, which I'm really, really excited about because, for one, it's a great comic, and two, nobody else is talking about it.
Right.
So, if you're at all interested in that, please check out SupermanFamily.com. You'll see all the episodes are there. You'll find that, and I'm hoping to get Black Canary off the ground. I got to pick up that archive before I do. So that show might come out a little bit later in the summer. We'll see. Okay. We'll see if I can pick up that trade up in Boston relatively on the cheap, because I don't want to spend too much money for it because I'm a cheapo. But you know, so yeah, there's that. There's also my Supergirl show that's been on hiatus for a while. And
a long while.
Yeah, it's been on hiatus for a while. So,
what was it called again?
Krypton's Last Daughter, Supergirl Podcast.
There you
go. That's what the show is called, and if you want to check that out, go to kldpodcast.wordpress.com.
Cool.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the review. So normally we do the Kara Zor-El Podcast, the audio version of it. At least we usually have little musical interludes or whatever between the reviews and the introduction and all that stuff. Obviously, because I'm doing a video right now, I'm not going to have any of that stuff. We're just going to ride up the wave all the way to the end. So, yeah, hopefully we won't have to pee or anything. We'll see. All right. So, Andrew, you said, did you want to bring us some of the Red Lantern book, number 30?
Absolutely, I will.
Do the credits? Go for it, man. It's all on you.
I will do the credits. Supergirl number 30. Let me get to the release date. Was released on April 23rd, 2014. The credits are as such: Charles Soules, the writer; Jay Calafiore is the artist, along with Alessandro Vitti and Chico. The Sheko sequences are page 1 through 4, 10 through 13. Gabe Alatabe did the colors. Dave Sharp the letters. Vitti and Alatabe did the cover. Chris Conroy is the editor. Matt Idelson is the group editor. And you know what? I'm going to do something completely different, because I don't think the Siegels and the Schusters should have any billing at all. So you know what? Supergirl was created by Otto Beiner and Al Plastino.
There it is.
How about that?
Good job, man. Wow, stick it to them.
Yep. So
I like it.
Nothing for the Siegel or Schusters. Go take a flying flip. There, I said it.
Considering the creator of Superman, I'm kind of surprised he went that way.
Well, you know what? Supergirl should have her own creators, and Supergirl's not created by Jerry or Joe, so you know what? They should get no credit at all.
Here,
Zipola.
man. I'm not disagreeing with you one bit.
That's
Not
good.
one bit, man.
So I'm going to pass it off to you, dude. What were your thoughts on Red Lantern number 30?
You know, when this Red Lantern saga whole thing continued, when it first started, I was on the fence. And I think I mentioned that in previous episodes of Kara Zor-El Podcast. I mentioned I wasn't too sure. And when it first started, I wasn't too sure where it was going to go and what, that sort of thing. I have to say, after reading this issue and issue number 31 of Red Lanterns as well, too, it's really, really starting to grow on me a lot. I'm actually really starting to enjoy it. And in a way, that's almost like it has to happen. I mean, just because Kara has had so much rage in her since first emerging from her pod in issue number 1, I think this is almost like a evolutionary. I can't even speak English very well. Almost like a progression in her character, I think, because she's at the point now, and I think I might have mentioned this in a previous episode too, but she's at the point now where she's got so much rage, and the only way she can control it seems, maybe, is with the Red Lantern ring. You know, it fuels her rage, but at the same time, I think being this group of Red Lanterns and other people that kind of feel what she's feeling, the same kind of rage that she's feeling, I think it's the best way for her to channel it, maybe. And I'm starting to really see that coming out of the series, out of this storyline. I really do believe she's going to be much better off for it. And I'm starting to see a little bit of that now. And then specifically to this story, there are a couple things I just want to make. First off, the judge, Shiko, who saw the very first few pages of the book here, I really liked her story. I thought it was really cool. I mean, much better than Hell ever was. God, but then some. But I mean, so much better than Hell. And I really enjoyed her story and kind of her side of things and how she became a Red Lantern and why she became a Red Lantern. I really understood that and felt it. It was really, really cool. And I really liked, I think what it took the most out of this book was I loved how Kara is starting to adapt with the Red Lantern Corps, with these characters, and specifically with Bleeze. And she's really starting to build a friendship with her. And she even asked Bleeze, you know, there's nobody else here. Nobody really wants to talk to me. Would you want to be my friend? And it's not that she's forced into kind of friendship, but she's reaching out to somebody. And this is probably one of the first times this has kind of happened. She hasn't reached out to Superman. She tried being friends with Siobhan, didn't work out. But this is the first time that she's trying to reach out and really connect with someone. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really important, and it's something that needs to happen. And I think we've said this so many times before in other episodes. She needs to have some friends. She needs to have family, a supporting cast, whatever. She needs to have that. And I think she's starting to have this in the Red Lantern Corps, and in specifically with Bleeze as well too. So I'm really glad she's doing that. I'm really glad that they're going down this road. Another thing that I really liked, and I loved kind of Kara's humor in this book as well too. How Bleeze tried to push her out of the way, she wouldn't budge. I thought that was pretty funny. But before I continue, before I say any more, I'll hand over the thing to you. What are you thought? What did you think about this book so far, anyways?
You know, this entire Red Daughter of Krypton storyline, I was really optimistic coming in, and it has just gotten better and better and better with each Red Lantern issue that I've read. I have really enjoyed this Red Daughter storyline. I love seeing Kara in this Red Lantern Corps because, for one, we get some semblance of a family for her, finally. And that's something that she has desperately needed. The stuff with Shiko was really great. The artwork was good in this book all the way through. And it kind of really broke my heart that Shiko was betrayed by the king of their planet and killed. And eventually the Red Lantern Ring finds her. And she's this now judge and just judging all the people of her planet. So, her powers as a brand new Red Lantern are astounding. I think it's just a really cool character. I love the interaction between Bleeze and Kara. And it seems like these two are going to be friends. But after next issue, who knows?
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Right.
So, but I mean, I'm really loving what the Red Lanterns are bringing to the character of Kara. I mean, we're going to see her fight Atrocitus, or supposedly fight Atrocitus. We'll have to wait and see till next issue. But overall, I thought it was a great book. I really, really enjoyed it. So,
Yep. And it's not just the whole thing with Kara and her interaction with the Red Lanterns, but I'm actually starting to really like all the characters of the Red Lantern Corps, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah,
I read this book and issue 31. I'm really starting to enjoy this Red Lantern series. I'm actually might even want to consider picking it up on a regular basis once this storyline is done. And to me, that's huge because I was never a big fan of the Red Lantern Corps, but I mean, as I mentioned before, a lot of my knowledge from the Green Lanterns and Red Lanterns, all that good stuff, comes from Green Lantern, the animated series.
You're welcome,
so,
by the way.
Yes, because you told me about it, so thank you very much. But a lot of my knowledge comes from that series. So before that, I didn't really know too much of all this stuff. I didn't know any of these characters or whatever the case may be. But now that I've kind of read through it and all that good stuff, I really like there's kind of the separation of the Red Lanterns, and then they're kind of watching over Sector 28, I think it's 2814, which includes Earth. And they're fighting with
They call it 2814, but
that's like 2814.
Yeah, who's counting?
It's the same thing, isn't it? 2814, 2814.
It's just said a little differently. That's all. I'm just being nitpicky, just to nitpick.
Yeah. See, I'm making faces at you right now. You can't see that.
That's fine.
You can't see that.
I'll see that later.
Damn it. But no, I mean, I really enjoy the storyline between the Red Lanterns and their separation between, and then Atrocitus being the bad guy, and Guy Garner and all that stuff. I'm really, really enjoying it. But back to Kara, there's just one thing I want to read, and I thought this is really, really cool that Blease said this to Kara, and I just want to read it really quick. It says, "Rage is useful, rage is strong, but it comes from pain. We could all do with less of that." And that's why I love Kara kind of now being part of this group, because I think she's starting to understand her rage. I think she's finally understanding what it means to have rage and kind of why maybe she's feeling so angry. I don't know, but I'm just really enjoying her interaction with these characters and that sort of thing. I'm really enjoying it. And as for the artwork, I really like the artwork and the writing. Actually, the writing style I'm really, really enjoying too. It was a really good story. It really was. I'm actually surprised how much this book has really grown on me. I really am. I didn't think
I am too.
Grow on me as much as it did. But and it's only because I think you can now start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And you kind of see Kara, especially when we get to issue 31 specifically, but you can kind of see where the light is going now. And you can kind of see Kara kind of maybe calming down a bit more and being less rageful, or maybe at least on how to focus her rage. I think is the more appropriate term. So, yeah. So what do you think about the whole interaction with Atrocitus and the cat and everything that he's been doing on this planet as well too? I mean, he's basically trying to look for the judge as well too. I think we've got a little bit of him at the very end of the book. I'm just flipping through it right now. Yes, at the end of the story.
I am as well. Yeah, we see a picture of Atrocitus. Very last page, we see Atrocitus and the cat. I didn't know what the cat's deal was. I still kind of don't know what the deal with the cat is.
Right.
But I mean, Atrocitus looks pretty beastly. Kind of looks the way he looked in the cartoon, and that's where I get most of my Green Lantern knowledge as well. I mean, I've read a few Green Lantern books through Blackest Night and stuff like that, but I didn't really know the Red Lantern Corps. So I mean, most of my Red Lantern knowledge comes from the cartoon, which is a really good adaptation of the Red Lantern Corps.
Right.
So, no, I think the artwork in this looks great. Atrocitus looks great. I know Atrocitus is going to be a pretty BA villain. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice. And you get the feeling that Kara's kind of almost like the bouncer of the Red Lantern Corps now, it seems like. The muscle,
yeah, totally.
Yep, I
totally.
read this one part, and I'm just because I mentioned my notes, I'm just looking for it here, but when they're kind of leaving the ship to go find the judge, and I think it was Guy Garner was telling Kara, so we stashed enough blood from the lake in Calvert's cargo hold to get him sane enough to talk to. But we might need a heavy hitter to wrestle him back to the ship. And Kara goes, just point me at him. Just point where he is and I'll take care of it. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like
Well,
nothing to her, so.
you say that, and that reminds me of a panel in the part in the middle of the story that says when Guy calls for her, it says, Kara, I need you. And she just leans up against the doorway. It's like, you called?
Yep, exactly. So it's
Love
like she's
that
the
part,
muscle of the group.
so-
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
totally.
It's just so funny.
And she is really the muscle of the group. She is the most powerful one in the entire group.
Mhm.
She really is. I don't care who has used the more rage. Kara has the power set, and
Damn straight.
nothing will replace that. No Red Lantern power ring will replace her Kryptonian abilities.
Yep, totally
So-
agree. What do you think of the cover of the Red Lanterns number 30?
Let me go back and take a peek. What were your thoughts on it? Did you care for it or no?
It was interesting. It wasn't my favorite covers because you basically have Atrocitus. I'm going to call him Atrocitus Cat because I don't know his name. On the cover of the book, kind of front and center, and then you have all the Red Lanterns around him, so to speak. The cat reminds me a lot of, I remember a Peter David issue back, I think, in 1995 of Supergirl. I think it was issue number 2. And it was kind of an interesting issue because I can't remember too much of it. I just remember there's a big, gigantic cat in it. And this cat kind of reminds me of a little bit.
Fair enough.
So,
I have a perfect name for him, by the way.
pardon me?
I have a perfect name for this cat, by the way, since we can't remember his name.
Okay.
Red Lantern Psycho Kitty.
All right. I mean, it's got to be in the book here somewhere, I'm sure.
It is. I think it's in the next issue
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Okay.
of Red Lantern. But the cover, yeah, I mean, more was focused on the cat than it seemed like the other Red Lanterns
Yep.
for this cover, which I guess is okay. But, I mean, I'd rather see Kara kind of at the focal point because she's supposed to be the focal point of this Red Daughter storyline. But yet, this is a Red Lantern story. So.
Yeah, but don't forget, this is a Red Lantern book, right?
Right.
See, I think the Red Daughter of Krypton is only continuing the Supergirl story, not in the Red Lantern story.
Oh,
But because
interesting.
she's part of the Red Lantern core, that's why she's in this book.
Oh,
But if you
okay.
remember, if you look at the credits, this issue is called Judgment Day, part 1 of 3.
Part 1 of 3. Yeah, you're
Exactly.
right.
So it's not really part of the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline, but Kara just happens to be in it because she's part of the Red Lantern core.
But yet it all melds together because right after this issue, I think Supergirl 31 blends right into
Oh
what's
yeah,
going
they
on.
definitely still all blend together. That doesn't change. But I mean, if you look at the Supergirl, because I'm looking at them right now, like if you look at their Supergirl book compared to Red Lantern books, Supergirl actually says Red Daughter of Krypton right on top of it, where the Red Lantern books do not.
Right.
So I think it's just the Supergirl strictly that are part of the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline, and the Red Lantern books are not.
And
She
the
just happens to be in
Red
it.
Daughter of Krypton storyline is supposed to end when? Do we know?
It's in the solicits. I know I mentioned it, I think, a couple episodes ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say
July?
about July. I think it's July. Yeah.
July.
There's only, I think this is issue number 2 of the Red Daughter of Krypton. Yeah, Red Daughter of Krypton. So I think there's like one more issue.
This is
Let me grab it. I can look at the solicits here really quick.
This
Give
is
me a
the
second.
4th issue of the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline.
I'll write the 4th issue.
Is Supergirl 31. So, yeah.
Okay. I want to say it's in July, right? It's July. Super number 33 on July 16th. It has Kara kind of looking at her ring. She's back in her old costume again, and kind of has a ring in her fingers. And I think that's when she has to make a big decision on what she wants to do. And then furthermore, then if you go to number 34 and of course Future's End, she's not in the Red Lantern outfit anymore.
I wonder if a Blue Lantern's going to be involved, because apparently a Blue Lantern's the only one who can take off a Red Lantern ring without killing them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Blue Lantern will come involved, or whether Kara's ring will fall off because she's no longer full of rage.
I really hope that's the case.
I don't know how that
that'd be
works.
Cool. I'm not sure either, but don't forget, I mean, Atrocitus was the one who created these rings. Like I said, I don't know too much about Red Lanterns, how rings are made, but all I know is that Atrocitus made 9 rings, apparently,
Right.
and Kara has one of them, so I don't know, maybe they could be like a cheap knockoff or something, and they don't need a Blue Lantern ring for her to be able to take it off. A Blue Lantern for her to be taking it off.
I don't know.
I don't know, but we'll find out. It's issue number. It is issue number 33. It's the finale of the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline, and that'll be on July 16th.
Yep. Good enough.
There we go. One thing I wanted just to say about this book before we move on to the next one, this kind of goes back to Bleez and about her relationship with Kara. I think this is why it's so important because there was one point where when they come down to the planet and they also see that they're Red Lanterns and they start shooting at them because they think they're part of the other group. And obviously Kara doesn't like this, and normally old Kara would basically just zap them or would fight them or whatever the case may be.
Right.
She's about to do that in this book here too. She's about to use her heat vision and hit them, but Bleez kind of took her hand and blocked her eyesight and said, "No, Kara, they're just afraid. They aren't our enemies yet. If we have to fight, we'll fight, but let's God do what he does first." So Bleez is the one who kind of told Kara, like, relax. They're just afraid of us. They're not going to hurt us unless, not yet at least. But let's talk to them first and go down that road. So Bleez is the one that's kind of showing Kara what's the proper way of doing things. And the reason why I mentioned that is because you'll see later on, I think it's issue number 31, a kind of role reverse a little bit. And when we get to that book, I'll talk more about it. But it's really important, I think, that you kind of see the dynamic these two people have with each other, Bleez and Kara, and the kind of relationship they're starting to build. And Bleez become almost like a mentor, I think, for Kara and how to focus her rage and not be so hot-headed all the time. So I think it's a really good concept, and I hope they become good friends on the road. We'll see, but who knows?
You really need to silence that cell phone of yours, sir.
Damn it, you heard it, didn't you?
Of course I heard it.
I could have sworn I put on vibrate before I started this show. It's not even on. It's not even on. Actually, the volume's not even on.
And you crap all over me for having a crappy ringtone.
That was in the ringtone. That's my Android phone, dude.
Whatever.
Here, man. I'm powering it off. Happy? There. Big baby. All right. So, is there anything else you want to mention about this book before we move on?
I don't think so, dude. I think that's pretty much all I had to talk about for this one.
All right. So, I think we both agreed it was a good book.
What would you give it out of 5?
Well, let's see. We've never rated books before, so let's start now.
How many Supergirl shields would you give it?
We have never rated a comic book. In all the episodes we've
Well,
done.
you know what? We rate. Steven rates when he does reviews on the Supergirl homepage. He gives a rating. Am I correct?
That's true. Steve Macedo does, yeah.
Yes, he does.
When it comes to in the Supergirl books that he reviews, and that's true, he does.
Yes.
All right, fine.
So give it a rating out of 5 Supergirl shields. What would you give this
I would
one?
have to give it maybe a 4.
Okay.
I give it a 4. How about you?
I would give it a.
I give it a 3. I give it a 3.
Okay. I'd give it a 3.5. 3. I mean,
okay.
2.5 is average. 3 is really good. 3.5 is above really good, and
Right.
4 and 5 are like excellent. So I mean, I think it's definitely above average for sure. I enjoyed it a crap ton.
Me too.
And this Red Daughters or this Red Lantern books have just been getting better and better, and I think that's due in largely to part to Kara being in them. So
I don't think it's just Kara being in them. I think it's the writing that I'm really enjoying.
yeah, the writing is very, very strong
even
as
if Kara
well.
wasn't in these books, these Red Lantern books, I'm still enjoying them, and that's why I'm thinking I probably will keep up with it when this storyline's over on a monthly basis, because they're really good. They're really entertaining, and I'm really invested in these characters now, and specifically with the storyline between Guy Gardner and Trocitus. I'm really invested in it now, so I kind of just want to see where it goes and kind of where it continues. Like I said, with Kara, I mean, Kara being there is just an added bonus, but as I found the writing style it's really, really good. And to be honest with you, almost in part, probably a little better than the actual Supergirl book itself, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I know.
That's high praise indeed, sir.
A little bit.
That is high praise indeed.
They're all connected anyways. So It's all the same storyline. It's all kind of meshed together in a big ball of stuff. But I'm really enjoying the writing in the Red Lantern Corps. And when we get to 31, I'll talk more about it. But But let's tackle Supergirl number 31 right now,
Sounds
and
good.
then we'll get on to the final book in a minute. Okay.
Sounds great.
So Supergirl number 31. I'm sorry, trying to read this at the same time. This is the Red Daughter of Krypton, part 3, called Judgment Day. Writer is Tony Bedard with Emmanuel Lepacino God, this is confusing. Emmanuel Lepacino and Ray McCarthy did the pages 1 through 6, 8 through 13, 17 and 18, and Guillermo Ortega did page 19. Yilindri Sinar did pages 14 to 16. Corey Smith, pages 7 to 20. All those are artists. Hi-Fi and Sinar were on colors. Rob Lee's a letterer, Manuel Lepacino with Hi-Fi on the cover, Ricky Purden, editor, and Eddie Berganza as the group editor. Holy crap, there's a lot of people. Why do they have so many people in this book? I don't understand.
I have no idea. I
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it either.
So
really makes no
confused.
sense.
Anyways, whatever. And this book came out on June 18, 2014, so just about 2 weeks ago. So it hasn't been, about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
June 18th, yeah, about 10 days ago. Not bad. Yeah, so those are all the solicits. And as Andrew mentioned before, Supergirl is created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino.
Indeed.
All right, Andrew, I will let you have first crack at this one this time, man. What'd you think of this book?
I really like this book a lot. Kara and Bleez yet again have an interesting dynamic in this issue. We see Kara using her natural abilities a lot, specifically her X-ray vision, to try and find this judge. And Kara going up against the judge was really, really amazing. I mean, we saw the judge peek into Kara's past, and to find what rage she has in her. And I thought it was pretty awesome that Alora basically gobsmacked the judge.
I love Alora.
Oh, I do too.
She's awesome.
She's amazing. But no, I absolutely loved it. I thought this was a really great story. Overall, very, very good. Tony Bedard just continues to impress me with his writing style, and I do believe we even see a panel or two of Shaban. Yes.
Yes,
we do.
Yeah, with Blaze,
which I find is kind of takes it out of the story with what's going on with Kara. I'm not sure that's necessary for them to put that kind of stuff in there.
Right.
So I'm eager to hear your thoughts on it, but this cat, I still can't figure out what his name is.
All I know is he's got a Red Lantern ring, because cats have a lot of rage apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to contend with my nickname, Red Lantern Psycho Kitty.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
I think that's a pretty decent nickname. What are your thoughts on this one, sir?
So first thing I just want to get this out of the way first and foremost with Siobhan and Blaze. It looks like there was like one panel we saw Blaze coming out of this thing that Siobhan's friends were using. It's looking more and more. I think that Blaze will probably see more of, but I think only after this Red Daughter of Krypton storyline's over. And the reason why I say that is because we only see Blaze in the Supergirl book. We don't see him in the Red Lantern book, or her in the Red Lantern book. So I don't think they're going to, he or she, I don't know what to call him, he or she, they, will have an integral part in the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline. I think it'll be later on once it's over, possibly with maybe Siobhan being in the middle of it too, so who knows. But I mean, like I said, you only had one panel. I think the reason why he keeps popping up here and there in these panels within these books once in a while, I think it's just to keep us remembering that he's there and that something's happening with him or her. So annoying. And but I think we're gonna see more of Blaze probably after this whole storyline's over, and like I said, maybe with something to do with Siobhan perhaps. So we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen with that. But as with the rest of the book, I liked it. It was, like I said, it was a great continuation from Lanterns number 30. And I think what we see in this one too, we see a lot more of Kara's intelligence a little bit, especially when it came to the judge and how to get the red blood to the judge. I mean, she figured it would be kind of tricky to get the judge over to the ship. So she brought the ship to the judge, more or less, and kind of just opened it up and just let it rain blood everywhere.
Mm.
Why not? It's a good
Well,
strategy.
that's the next issue. That's not.
Oh, is
That's
that
it.
issue? Next
That's
issue?
it.
I
That's in
see.
Red
That's
Lantern
a.
31.
Are you sure?
100% positive.
My bad. See, this is the problem when you're reviewing 3 books in one shot. And I just read Red Lantern number 31,
Yep.
kind of like maybe half an hour before we started this episode. So
Right.
yeah.
No, I totally
Okay.
get it.
Why don't we it back then? Okay, back to this
We'll talk
kind of
about that more
issue.
next review.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. But back to this issue. I'm just trying to look at my notes here really quick. Okay, Kara. I liked her strategy about how to find the judge. I mean, she obviously knew that Bleeze was injured and that she couldn't really participate much or go very fast or whatever.
Right.
So she kind of saved her ego a little bit. She kind of said, it's maybe more practical for you to stay here. I'll go look around with my super speed and all that good stuff, and then I'll come back and get you if I find anything. I thought that was a lot. That was a nice touch, I think, and then kind of you can see the friendship kind of developing a little bit. And I think Bleeze kind of was liked it, even though she didn't want to admit it. But I think it was good for her to acknowledge it. You mentioned about Kara's X-ray vision. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be mistaken about this, but I rarely am. Was this one was like the second time Kara's ever used X-ray vision? I think I'm trying to think the last time she used it, and I think it was when she was on Simon Tycho's space station, and she used it to get out of there and to make it explode. But I think it was the last time she used it.
Yeah, very well might be. X-ray vision isn't used a lot, but not only in Supergirl. I don't think Superman uses it much in his titles either, which I don't understand why they don't use it a lot. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, maybe it's just really, really difficult to draw that effect. I don't really know. I mean, it's easy to draw like laser vision and stuff like that, but seeing through can be a little bit challenging for an artist. I would well imagine, but I mean, yeah, I think you're right though. I think it's only her second instance of using X-ray vision in this entire series.
I think so too. I mean,
which is really too bad,
Right.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe she used it either once or twice in the Hell on Earth story arc, but I can't remember of any instances where she did.
I can't either.
So.
Yeah, but back to Kara in this story, for instance. I mean, just one thing I want to mention really quick. I think maybe Bleeze is starting to really, I don't want to say get to her, but maybe having an influence on her. Just in the sense that, when she tried to find the judge and the judge kind of smacked her away, she wanted to kind of by force take her out, but she said, no, can't let anger take over. Gotta tamp it down, can't hit back. And then she's trying to find a different way of getting her out of there, getting the judge out of there. So I love that she's trying to calm herself down. She's not using her fist. She's not using violence. She's just trying to use her brain instead. So I like that. I mean, I think that's important because I mean, she's been since issue number 1. She's been always, just using her fists, using her physicality and violence, and banging her way through everything. It's nice to just her clamp it down, to realize she's has a little bit of rage in her, but to sort of take a little more of a calmer attitude about it. Maybe she needs to take yoga. I don't know, but maybe just to take a calmer attitude about things. And back to what you're saying about Allure. I mean, I love Allure. She's awesome. She really, really. I just love that who she is, and then her. She. I mean, here's another thing I don't get. I mean, about this judge character. I mean, I understand why. So I'm guessing the judge didn't completely die when she was given the ring, the Red Lantern ring, because I'm assuming you can't. If you die, you can't get a ring. That would make any sense.
Right.
So she got shot, thrown in the water. She didn't die yet. She almost died. But she has some crazy, crazy powers.
True that.
For a judge, considering that she wasn't a superhero or Kryptonian or anything before this. So why does she have so much power? I don't get it. Maybe just the rage she has inside her. It's just manifesting itself into some sort of abnormal powers that she can look into people and judge them and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, this might be her species' natural ability. Who knows?
Possibly, maybe, but I mean, she just has some crazy powers. I mean, she's a very, very strong Red Lantern, and we're seeing that. I mean, if everybody wants to get to her, like Gardner and Atrocitus, she's got to be a really heavy hitter, right? And you can kind of
Hmm.
see the destruction that she's kind of leaving in her wake, right, in the city and stuff like that. So, but no, it was a good book. I still I think prefer Red Lantern number 30, to be honest with you. Um, but it was still a good book. We see a little more of atrocities as well too in this story. Um, he looks pretty menacing. I gotta say, he looks very very menacing, very mean,
Yes, he
which is
does.
cool. Now the biggest thing I think, the biggest point of the story I think was at the very end with regarding the World Killer number 1, and it seems that we find out who the first World Killer is now. Um, what do you think? Any surprises? Were you kind of thrown back by that? Were you expecting it? What?
Um, I really didn't have much emotion about this World Killer number 1.
Okay,
This is somebody we will see moving forward. I'm trying to remember whether or not we've seen this guy before.
we have.
We have.
He's
So,
the leader of the Diasporans. We
right.
saw him, I believe, in Supergirl number 29, I think it was, or 30. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I looked it up just before we started recording. Um, him and Diasporans were, if you remember correctly, they're trying to take over this planet, and then Kara, I think the Red Lantern Corps came down and kind of got them out. Um, but I don't think the leader actually saw Kara yet. It was one of his henchmen had told him about her,
Right.
and then he found out she's a Kryptonian, that sort of thing. So that's all we
Well,
know of him.
I mean, let me just say this. This guy's going to get his butt kicked over and over and over by Kara because he obviously got his butt kicked once, and now he's looking for revenge.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm sure Kara will just kick his butt again and maybe even kill him this time. Who knows?
Well, not that he'd kill him, but I mean, obviously, he has some strong feelings about the World Killers. I mean, I think we found that
Right.
out. I think it was in Super Bowl 29 and 30,
Yeah.
when she was talking
Totally.
to Guy Gardner. But she did have some strong feelings about the World Killers. So
Yep.
it's safe to say that she has some strong feelings about this guy if he is in fact World Killer number 1. Now, one thing maybe I'm wrong about something, maybe I'm mistaken something here, but there were 5 pods for the World Killers. We know 4 of them who they were. From what we understood, and went back to the Super Bowl number 0 issue, I think it was, but Carol was, if I remember correctly, was in the 5th pod
Hmm.
because her father was experimenting on her and that sort of thing, right? So where would this World Killer would have been exactly? There were 5 pods, and Kara was one of them, and the other 4 killers in the other. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not doing math
Well,
correctly. I
maybe
don't
he
know.
is one of the 4.
I don't think so. We saw already all 4 in the first 7 or 8 issues of Supergirl. There were 4 of them.
Okay. But Blaze is considered a world killer, correct?
No,
Oh, she's not.
no. Blaze would not be a world killer. Apparently, this guy is supposed to be the world killer, along with the 4 other ones that we had already seen before in the first 7 issues of Supergirl.
I'd have to go back and read the first 7 issues to
We'll look into that.
refresh my
Yeah,
memory.
same idea. I'm going to go back and I remember there were 4 original world killers. There were 5 pods. Supergirl, Kara was in one of them because she was experimenting on her. Her father was experimenting on her. And we found that out. I think it was in 0 issue or something like that. So that takes care of 1 pod, and the other 4 pods were for the other 4 world killers. Where does this guy fit in? Maybe we'll find it out. Maybe we'll find out in the next issue of Supergirl. Who knows? But
We very well might.
probably. Probably. How'd you like the artwork on this story, on this book? Because I mean, there were, as I read before, tons of artists on this. I mean, probably because there were so many different things going on. You had a kind of a flashback thing with Kara and then her mom showing up, and then you also had the kind of page I think with Siobhan, her friends, and Blaze. So there seemed to be different artists I think at different times in the story. Did that kind of distract you from anything? Did you kind of notice
It didn't
anything?
really throw me for a loop. I
Mhm.
did notice a little bit of a change after after basically the judge pronounces her innocent. That
Right.
very next page I saw an art change and noticed a little bit of an art change. Did I mind it so much? No, not really. It didn't take me out of the story. But yeah, I mean, there's a crap load of people working on this book. Why they needed so many, why can't they just leave the art duties to one or two people, is beyond my way of thinking. I really wish they would just leave it to one or two people.
Right.
It makes it so much more cohesive, and to be honest, it makes it easier for us.
I mean, I really didn't notice, to be honest, with the big art change. I mean, it wasn't until I
Yeah, I
read the
didn't
credits that I
either.
even noticed there were all these people on this book.
Right.
Why there are so many people, I don't know. But there just is. But I didn't really notice, to be honest with you. I like the artwork. It was good all the way through. Like I said, I love Allura. She's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Totally. I mean, what were your thoughts on our Red Lantern Psycho Kitty in this issue?
did we even see him at all in this? I don't
Yes, we
remember seeing him.
did. I'm looking at a few
Whereabouts?
panels right now. It's towards the beginning of the book. I think it's
They're
on
all in the book.
page 3.
Okay. Psycho
We
Kitty.
see we see Psycho Kitty
Yes.
with Atrocitus.
Yeah. He
And
has a
we-
ring on apparently on his tail.
Yeah, and we see him
See that coming.
using his tail ring. I don't
Right.
know.
His tail ring? Oh, that's basically what it is. His tail ring.
His
Exactly.
tail ring.
Yeah.
So I mean, which was a really cool image, by the way.
Mhm.
Just attacking the people of the planet.
Right.
I think he makes a good villain.
Mhm.
I think he could just get kicked by Kara into the sun and he would disappear forever. So I don't know. I mean, just a giant football,
Yeah, I can see that.
but
One
know.
thing I just want to mention, and this kind of goes back to I think the last episode of the Kara Zor-El Podcast we were talking about. It goes back to Kara and her mom, and I think we mentioned when we were doing the Secret
Yes.
Origin review how much Kara is trying to be like her mother, how much her mother means to her, and there's this one part in the story that kind of impact I think on that, and it came after the whole when Judge was going through Kara's head. She saw Allura, and Allura's telling her to leave her daughter alone, that sort of thing. And it was interesting that Judge mentioned that when she refers to Allura and Kara, she tells Kara that Allura was perfect construct of her memory, a facet of her identity, her brightest facet. So basically saying that Kara's mom is her brightest is the brightest part of her brightest identity of her, I guess you can call it. So it was really important, I think, to emphasize that. I think it kind of came out of the Secret Origin book that we reviewed last episode.
I agree.
And, and it just goes back to demonstrate how much of an impact that Kara's mom had on Kara, and maybe the reason why she acts the way she does in a lot of ways, right? And maybe the way she's been acting since issue number 1, because her mom's kind of taught her to do that. Kind of to do the right thing and not damn the consequences, but you got to live with the consequences.
Right.
And I think that's kind of shows out a little bit in this panel a little bit. So I thought it was very important. I really did. But I mean, there wasn't really much else to say about this book. I thought it was very short, to be honest with you. This story, it was only about 20 pages, and you had a couple of double page spreads in here, not much dialogue. So I found it was a very short story.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just me. Maybe I'm just a fast reader. I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, all these new 52 Super or any new 52 book is a really quick read. Unfortunately, all modern comics seems like they are. I mean, you pick up an 80s book, and there's so much depth and dialogue to your characters. I mean, I picked up either a 90s comic or an 80s comic the other day. It was a Superman issue, and boy, oh boy, the dialogue, there's just so much to read.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. I'm starting to read, just to read the Daring New Adventures of Supergirl from, I think it was 1980s. And, wow.
Yeah, what a difference.
They are, wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of story in those books. But I guess it's a good thing, I suppose, in a way. You get a lot more of the story in it, but at the same time, I kind of want to be able to just pick a book, read it, and get on to the next one, so to speak, right? But I mean, some of these books, if we had to review, say, one of those, A Daring New Adventure of Supergirl book or something like that, or one of those 80s books on the show, I think it would take a long time.
Yeah.
It really, really would.
Yeah. One thing
All
I
right, man.
really quickly want to mention, and I want
Yeah.
to ask you about this.
Mhm.
Did you by chance read the Superman number 32 preview at the end of Supergirl 31?
No,
No,
did
you
not.
did not.
You know me and Superman.
Yes,
We just don't mix, man.
I am well
We don't
aware of
mix.
your vehemence for Superman.
Yeah.
However, I just wanted to quickly mention that Superman 32 is being. This is the issue that the new writing, the new creative team is taking over. Jeff Johns, John Romita Jr., Klaus Janson, they are taking over the reins of the Superman book. Um, do you think you might hop on and give it a shot now that Kenneth Rocafort and Scott Lobdell are gone?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm
I
not
mean, it
sure.
is Jeff Johns, dude, and I know how much you like
I
Jeff
like Jeff
Johns.
Johns. You're right. I'll give it a chance. I will give it a chance because Jeff Johns is on it. Obviously, when you had Scott Abdel on it, or at least the listeners of the Kara Zor-El Podcast should know how I feel about Scott Lobdell. What was it, Andrew? The last episode, I think it was after we recorded the last episode of the Kara Zor-El Podcast,
You did
episode
go
number
back and
33.
listen.
We wanted to go back, and our listeners and viewers now do not know this, but we wanted to go back, and I think it was episode number 16.
Yes, it was.
That we went back. We wanted to listen to that episode where we just
Ripped him a new one.
destroyed, and that's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
Um,
We basically ripped him a new butthole.
yeah, and not just him, but we had some choice words for Kenneth Rockford.
Yeah, I think that was my famous penned phrase, "Rocka awful."
Yeah, I remember that. But I mean, it's funny because we're listening back to it and we're kind of laughing at the same time. And we're kind of laughing at ourselves a little bit because I mean, we can't believe I just say how bad we were, but I mean, just how
We weren't bad back
passionate
then, dude.
we were.
Yeah.
We were passionate.
Passionate's a good word.
Which is a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We were very passionate about it, and we really had some choice words because of the way the writing style was and the way the art was in that. And I think it was Superman number 13. I think it was issue we were reviewing, right?
I don't think
was
it
it
was
13?
Superman 13.
It was the very first book with Hell,
Yeah.
I think.
It might have been Superman 14.
Maybe 13 or 14, but regardless, it wasn't very good.
No,
it
was not.
was putting it nicely.
It was not.
But yeah, it was just kind of nice to go back and listen to some of those older episodes and have a good shot.
Which you can all find at supergirlhomepage.net.
Nice plug, buddy.
How about that?
All right, listen, we have one more book to go through. Oh, and how would you rate Supergirl number 31, by the way, on your little scaling thing?
I would give this issue a 3 out of 5. Above average, but not quite there.
I would give it maybe 2.5.
Okay.
I would give it average.
Okay, that's fair.
Average. It wasn't exceptional. I'd say average.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. You want to do the quiz for Red Lanterns 31, or you want me to?
I can do them. Let me just get there real quick.
This could take a while.
Oh, very funny. Ha ha ha. Vamp's on me, buddy, dude. I mean, come on.
Pardon me?
Vamp. Great
Oh,
filler.
Vamp mean.
Filler, dude. While I get there.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, well, we'll wait for Andrew to take a sweet ass time. As I mentioned, guys, I am the executive producer on the Girl of Steel fan film. For those of you who don't know, for the first time listening to or watching now the Kara Zor-El Podcast, so the Girl of Steel fan film, there is a short film of it up on Vimeo right now under Vincent Tran, who's the director of the film. However, we also filmed an extension part of it, another piece to it, which you can only watch at select comic conventions and film festivals this summer. And the very first one we will be at, the first convention we'll be at this summer will be the Phoenix Comic Con, which is, I think it's June 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, I think it is. So just about less than 2 weeks now. And we'll be there, so the director will be there, the other executive producer, the assistant director, as well as myself. We'll all be there for the filming. We'll be having lots of posters there to sign and a little bit of Q&A as well too. So if you guys are going to be in the Phoenix area around that time and go to comic conventions, and you really should if you don't, then definitely head over to Phoenix Comic Con that weekend and check out the Girl of Steel, and you guys will like it. It's really really cool, and I think it's a great adaptation. I think of Supergirl, of Kara Zor-El, and tell a really good story.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. Did that give you enough time?
They give me plenty of time.
There you go. Yay.
Judgment Day Part 3. Red Lantern number 31. It was written by Charles Soule. The artist is Alessandro Vitti. Jay Calafiore was the artist for pages 6, 7, 10, 20. Gabe Alatab was the did colors. Dave Sharp did letters. Vitti and Alatab did the cover. Chris Conroy is the editor. Matt Idelson is the group editor. And Supergirl is created by Otto Beiner and Al Plastino. And this one came out today, May 28th, 2014.
There you go. We're right on the ball. How's that?
Right on the ball.
Right on the ball. Yeah.
So, what did you think of this one, buddy? Did you like it, dislike it? What were your thoughts?
You know what? Out of all the 3 books that we reviewed today, I absolutely loved this one the most.
Very well.
I really did. And I think this is the one book, and you probably got that from the last book that we just reviewed, that I could not wait to get to this story.
Right.
I don't know what it was. I just loved the writing of the story. I loved how Kara's portrayed in this story.
Mm-hmm.
It was just great. It was an overall fun story, dynamic, and you can really see Kara really interacting really, really well with the rest of the Red Lanterns. The artwork's fantastic. It was an overall fantastic story. And I think the best part, and I'm just trying to remember where it is exactly, I think it comes back down to Bleeze again. I'm trying to find it. Actually, while I find it, what do you think of the story anyways while I'm trying to find this one part?
Oh, I absolutely loved this story. This story was great. Love everything with Atrocitus, especially the stuff with Guy. Kara basically spilling out the Red Lake water all over the planet. Atrocitus using that because he controls the Red Lantern rings. And he even mentions the blood is mine. You get him seeing the Red Lantern symbols in his eyes. I thought that was a cool panel.
Right.
And him able to control the water was really, really cool to me. And it seemed like Bleeze was really ticked off at Kara in this issue, which was very interesting. To the point where I thought she had a lot of guts and gall to slap Kara across the face.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, our Girl of Steel would go off and probably knock her head off. So I was a little bit surprised, at that. So, but I thought this issue was great. The writing was great. The art was fantastic. We actually get a name for our Psycho Kitty, which I can't find it off the top of my head right now.
Maybe because you just want to keep calling him Psycho Kitty. That's probably why you can't remember the name. Liar.
There is a name for it.
Well, while you look for it...
I found it. It's Dexstar. Thank you very much.
Yes, Dexter, that's it.
Dexstar, yep. That is Psycho Kitty's name. So.
Yep. Just to reiterate what you were saying, I think the best part for me of this whole story, and I just can remember off the top of my head because we had to do so many reviews tonight, but I think it was when Bleeze slapped Kara. Believe it or not, that's actually one of my favorite parts, and it's because she finally, because remember, and you were saying that she had a lot of gall to do it because Kara would just knock her to the sun. You might be right, she might, but you forget that they kind of developed this friendship now, right? They're kind of friends now, and they kind of have this, relationship, I guess you can call it. And even Kara said, after Bleeze slapped her, even Kara said, I thought we were friends. That wasn't very friendly. And I love this one part, and I just need to read it because this is a great part. It said, grow up, Kara. Wearing a red ring is a struggle. You cannot give in to every impulse, no matter how much you want to do it. You insist you are not a child. Prove it. Grow up. And then followed by what Guy Gunner says, Bleeze is right, Kara. I might have said it differently, but that's not about being angry. Sorry, it's not about being angry all the time. It's about being angry for the right reasons and doing something with that. And I think that's absolutely perfect. And I think that's something we've been trying to tell Kara, where I think Kara's needs to learn, and she needs to has something that she needed to learn. I think a long time ago.
Indeed.
You know, and I think that's why, and this is why I was mentioned before, um, about how I think being part of the Red Lantern Corps was almost like a progression in her character and in her life, and essentially because all her rage she's had kind of led her to this moment. You know, all the anger she's had, everything she's been going through, has led her to this moment of being with the Red Lantern Corps, being people who are just like her in terms of rage, in terms of anger, in terms of hate, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I think being part of this group kind of is great for her because it kind of teaches her to focus her anger a little bit, you know, and I think that's why I like this part so much. Like they're telling her exactly what I think Superman and everybody else have been trying to tell her since issue number 1, 2, whatever, you know, how you're angry, got it, but don't let it consume you. You know, channel your anger into something more positive or whatever the case may be. But I think that's something that she needed to learn a long time ago, but never did. And it just took about 30 some issues to do it. That's all. But I thought that was really cool. And one of the part I really loved, and this kind of, and this is why I think I love the writing so much, and how much I'm enjoying the Red Lantern book, is I love the relationship, the comedy I think between Zox and Kara. When Kara goes back up to get
Yes.
the red blood,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes to the ship, and Zox goes, "Oh hey Kara, what's up?" Just like out of the blue, you know. So hey Zox, she's all right. Asking where Zox keeps the blood. Zox goes, "Oh, it's over there," and when the cargo base. So okay, I'm taking it. It's like, okay, that's great. It's like, what'd you say? I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else there was. What other notes I had in here, but yeah, I think this now I can actually mention because it's in this book. But Kara, how smart she was in terms of getting the blood to Shiko rather than getting Shiko to the ship. I thought that was a good touch. I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, totally agree.
Obviously, if Chaucer wasn't there, it would have worked out a lot better.
Right.
I suppose. But I mean, she didn't know that he could control the blood like that. And then she kind of had the right idea, I think, maybe with the using her heat vision to kind of destroy or get rid of the blood. Okay, that didn't work out in her favor either, granted. I'm admitting that wholeheartedly. But no, it was just a great story. And I love the kind of the interaction between Guy Garner and Trocitus and how much hatred they have for each other. And that is what I really love about the story. It's not just Kara and her development and her friendship with Bleez and that sort of thing, but I'm really liking the Guy Gardner and Trocitus kind of storyline as well too, and where that's going. Yeah. So I mean, overall, it was a great book. This has got to be my favorite book out of all 3 books that we reviewed tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree, dude. No, great story. I absolutely loved the story. I loved everything about it. There's not one probably bad part I didn't specifically care for. I mean, like I said, even the stuff with the judge was really, really great.
Yeah.
Man, it's just overall great storytelling. Very, very impressed. I'm really loving, and this was the last part of the Judgment Day storyline that started in Red Lantern number 30. So where we will go from here, who knows?
Right.
Because the second part was in Supergirl 31. So
yes.
So yeah, if you're not reading the Red Lantern issues, you're really missing out.
Oh, definitely.
So definitely pick them up if you're
here
not.
it is. So there's one more part I just want to mention. This is the reason I'm mentioning is because I kind of commented a little bit on I think it was Supergirl number 31. In terms of Kara's influence with the Red Lanterns, and we talked about how much Bleez has been influencing Kara, I think, in her friendship, and the way she's kind of teaching her how to be like and do things. I think it was pretty obvious when she slapped Kara and told her everything that she had told her. But then it's kind of interesting to note that kind of shortly right after that, when Bleez kind of was going to go off on Atrocitus, when Guy Gardner was trying to talk to him, Kara was the one who held Bleez back and told her to take it easy. So I think that was a really cool role reversal a little bit and kind of an interesting dynamic. And I mean, really, like I said, a really good maybe Kara's now starting to understand a little bit what rage is like and how to focus it and channel it and that sort of thing. So then that to the point now that she's kind of telling somebody else to sort of relax and take it easy. I think it's a good thing. Like I said at the beginning of this whole Red Lantern, not Red Lantern, the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline, I was kind of on the fence about, and I've admitted that a couple times in the few of the episodes that we've done. But now that it's kind of out and we're at least 3 or 4 issues into it now, and we also read Red Lantern, so she's been kind of in a double book every month that way too. I'm loving it. I really am, and this Red Lantern series has been really good too, really really good. And one more thing, the cover of the Red Lanterns, number 31 as well too, is really really cool. The Judge kind of has Bleez and Kara in her arms like that. That was really really cool.
Yeah.
Very neat. Yeah. Definitely, man. Anything else you want to mention about the story?
I don't think so. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. So we are good to go. Love this issue. Really looking forward to seeing what comes next. Because we only have 2 more issues in the actual Supergirl proper before the Red Lantern ring comes off.
Right.
And that's not much time to get that ring off.
Well, I mean, she's going to get it off in July, so basically only have 1 more month left, and that's it. In June, and then July is going to be the big one where she's basically has to make a decision what she's going to do. And then, I mean, if you look at the next list after that, in August, looks like she has the ring off her hand. She's back in her whole costume again.
Yep.
So, who knows? We'll see.
Yep.
But, it's a good story. It's probably my favorite one of the whole night.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mine too.
All right, so what would you rate? And I also like the fact how Atrocitus is trying to convince the Judge to go with him, and even the Judge. And it's kind of cool because the Judge was like she judged Atrocitus and didn't find anything wrong with him because everything he believed was to be true. Essentially, he believed everything he was doing, all the destruction he caused, everything he created, I guess, was for reasons and for things that he believed in.
Right.
And because of that, he didn't have any regrets or any kind of emotions about it, I suppose. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. You really learn a lot more about Atrocitus like that way too.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as a rating, I would definitely give this one a 5. I
agree.
I can't see anything wrong with. There was nothing in this story that I didn't like. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was great overall. So yeah, I give it a 5, definitely a 5. So
wholeheartedly, man, I agree with you. I was gonna go in before, but you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna give it a 5.
There you go. We get a perfect score for this one.
Yay!
Which we don't give many perfect scores.
We don't usually give any scores because we don't usually review. We don't usually rate our books.
This is something that would be an interesting new wrinkle, sir, moving forward.
Well, you know what? Why not? Because I'm already starting video now, so might as well add a little star chart to it too. So, what the hell?
I like it.
Yeah.
5 Supergirl shields for Red Lantern 31.
Yeah, I agreed, man. All right. I think that's pretty much the end of our reviews. We have no other books. We covered 3 books in the span of. You know, it's funny. I told you we were going to take about 40. This episode should take about 45 minutes. Here we are, an hour and a half still.
Well, it's us, dude. I mean, come on.
That's true. Fair enough. All right. Anything else you want to plug in before we wrap it up?
You know what? I got all my plugs out of the way early in the show, so
yeah, you did.
So no, there's nothing else that I want to mention. So be sure to check out supergirlhomepage.net, and please head over to iTunes and leave us a review and a rating, just to bump us up in the views and ratings and reviews. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So
absolutely,
please do that.
And like I said, because this is video now, like it's the first time I tried video, so if it's not good, if there's some issues with it, sorry, just let me know and I'll work on it. But like I said, it's the first time, so I'm going to do my best to get this episode up to YouTube, as well as iTunes, as well as, of course, supergirlhomepage.net, on Facebook, that sort of thing, so you guys can check it out. Also, don't forget to check out the Supergirl homepage on Facebook at Supergirl homepage, of course. On Twitter under Supergirl homepage, which is PG at the end, because I can't get the whole thing in there, and I keep saying that every single episode. On Tumblr, which is Supergirl homepage as well too, and of course the homepage, which is supergirlhomepage.net, the official webpage for everything Supergirl. We have some great reviews there, guys, especially from the Silver Age, from Daring New Adventures. That one of the best writers that we've probably one of the consistent best writers we've had on the Supergirl homepage. One of the only ones, I guess you could say. I guess you're the only ones you could say. But no, he's an outstanding writer, and he knows his stuff inside out. I mean, this guy could teach Supergirl a lot about Supergirl. I mean, it's
totally.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, his reviews are bar none the best I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Sim DeCito, so definitely go out to the Supergirl homepage, check out his reviews, guys.
And leave him comments, people. Yes. I'm sure he would love to get some praise from actual fans of the show out there. So.
And if you guys have any questions or comments about this episode or about past Kara Zor-El Podcast episodes, please write us at Kara Zor-El at live.com. Almost forgot that one every second.
Speaking of which, didn't we have an email to read from our good friend Steven?
Oh, crap. Damn it.
I completely forgot that.
We'll get it the next episode.
We'll do it next episode. Yeah,
we had 3 reviews to do tonight, so it's like,
we don't want to make it any longer than we have to.
True.
I mean, we're already at the hour and a half mark, so
yeah. And this is a video on top of that. This is fun to upload to YouTube.
Right.
If they let me, but yeah, definitely we'll read it next episode for sure.
Yep, totally.
And also, like I said, guys, the Girl of Steel. I will be in Phoenix in about 9 days, so this probably will be the last podcast before I head off. Maybe I'll have one. Maybe we'll have one more. I'm not sure yet, but
you never know.
So, like I said, if you guys are in Phoenix, check us out. Or check us out. Everybody from the Girl of Steel will be there. Andrew and I will also be in Boston, as well as with some members of the Girl of Steel family.
Oh, and I also want to mention people who love Katie Cassidy from Arrow. Mm-hmm. She is making an appearance in Boston. So if you want to go see her and meet us, go to Boston Comic Con.
Oh, my, Katie Cassidy is going to be in Boston?
Yes, indeed. I found that out via Twitter the other day.
Yeah, and you wait till now to tell me this kind of information?
Sorry, sir.
Dude.
Yeah, that's kind of a big news drop, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah, Katie Cassidy's gonna be in Boston, so
there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so that's it. Oh, and also, guys, like I said, the Girl of Steel, you can like them on Facebook, as well as you can check them out on Vimeo under Vincent Tran. All right, I think that's it.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching and listening, or whatever else you're doing. I am Danny.
And I'm Andrew.
And as always, keep Kara flying strong. Bye-bye.